Hello everyone, this is Dr. Pawan Jagannath Tambre, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nashik. In this video lecture, we will see the comparison between nucleophilic substitution reactions, that is SN1 and SN2 reaction. Up till now, we have seen nucleophilic substitution reaction, their major types, that is SN1 and SN2, and various factors which affects these nucleophilic substitution reactions, namely effect of substrate, effect of nucleophile and effect of solvent. We have also explored stereochemistry involved in SN1 and SN2 type of reactions. So in this video lecture, we are going to do comparison between these SN1 and SN2 reaction. Now, the one obvious question which comes in one mind is, when is the mechanism SN1 or SN2? How to identify whether the reaction will proceed through SN1 path or SN2 path? So in order to avoid this confusion, we will go through certain points, and if you remember those points, you can firmly say that this reaction will go through this path and this reaction will go through that path. So for that, we will consider some parameters for SN1 and SN2 comparison. In that, rate law, the hurdle in SN1 and SN2, the nature of electrophile, nature of nucleophile, the role of solvent and stereochemistry involved in these nucleophilic substitution reactions are very important. So in case of rate law, we know that in case of SN1 reaction, it is unimolecular, that is, rate of reaction depends upon concentration of substrate only, and it is independent of concentration of nucleophile. However, in case of SN2, it is bimolecular. Rate of reaction depends upon concentration of electrophile, that is substrate, as well as concentration of nucleophile. The biggest problem in SN1 and SN2 reaction, or the hurdle, is in SN1, stability of carbocation plays very important role. If carbocation is stable, then such molecule undergoes SN1 type of reaction, and if carbocation is unstable, such molecule do not undergo SN1 type of reaction. However, in case of SN2 reaction, steric hindrance is a hurdle. If molecule is sterically hindered, it will not undergo SN2 type of reaction, and so on. The next parameter, the next factor is electrophile. We know that we can have different types of electrophilic species like tertiary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, primary alkyl halide, or simple methyl halides. In case of SN1 reaction, tertiary alkyl halide or tertiary electrophile undergoes faster reaction than secondary than primary. However, in case of SN2 reaction, the trend is just opposite. Less hindered alkyl halide undergoes SN2 type of reaction. So methyl halide or primary alkyl halide undergoes SN2 type of reaction faster as compared to secondary or tertiary. Then a nucleophile. We know that nucleophile may be of different types. We can categorize it as a weak nucleophile or strong nucleophile. So if we are having weak nucleophile in our reaction, then it undergoes SN1 type of reaction. However, if nucleophile is stronger, then nucleophile tend to attack electrophile before breaking of bond between carbon and leaving group, and thus we will get SN2 type of outcome. So if there is a weak nucleophile, it shows SN1 reaction, and if there is a strong nucleophile, it shows SN2 type of reaction. The next factor is effect of solvent. We can have different types of solvent. Do remember that if solvent is polar protic, then it favors SN1 reaction, and if solvent is polar aprotic, then it will favor SN2 type of reaction. In this video lecture, we will see some examples of polar protic solvent and polar aprotic solvent. And last but not the least is stereochemistry involved in this nucleophilic substitution reaction. We knew that in SN1 reaction, we will get mixture of product having different stereochemistry. Product with retention of configuration and product with inversion of configuration are obtained in SN1 type of reaction. To the contrary, in SN2 type of reaction, we will get product with inversion of configuration. So these are the different factors which we need to consider when we think of mechanism involved in nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now, first we will see substrate. If you look at this example, this is primary alkyl halide, and if you look at the latter example, this is tertiary alkyl halide. So we can have different substrates. It may be simple methyl halide, primary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, or tertiary alkyl halide. Out of these four possibilities, I took these two, primary alkyl halide and tertiary alkyl halide. If alkyl halide is primary, then mechanism is always SN2 mechanism. If we are having primary alkyl halide as a substrate or methyl halide as a substrate, then it always undergo SN2 type of reaction. However, if we are having tertiary alkyl halide as a substrate, then such molecule undergoes nucleophilic substitution reaction through SN1 mechanism. Clear? So, methyl halide or primary alkyl halide undergoes SN2, and tertiary alkyl halide or tertiary substrate always undergoes SN1 reaction. Now, what about secondary alkyl halide? If our substrate is secondary, then whether it will undergo SN1 reaction or SN2 reaction. Dear friends, secondary substrate may undergo SN1 reaction or SN2 type of reaction. Now it depends upon some other factors. So let us explore that. So what about the secondary substrate? If secondary substrate is allowed to react with good nucleophile, then it favors SN2 mechanism. And if secondary substrate is allowed to react with weak nucleophilic species, then it favors SN1 mechanism. So in this case, in case of secondary substrates, nucleophile plays very important role. Whether a nucleophile is strong or weak, it determines whether the reaction is going to proceed through SN1 path or SN2 path. A good nucleophile means it is relatively unstable, that is reactive, therefore looking forward to react with an electrophilic center. However, if we are having a weak nucleophile, then weak nucleophile are stable, they are not desperate to react with alkyl halide, thus weak nucleophile always favor SN1 mechanism. It is not involved in rate determining step. It wait for formation of carbocation intermediate, and once carbocation intermediate forms, then such weak nucleophile attacks on that carbocation and we will get SN1 type of product. In order to understand this, let us consider one example. Now, if you look at this substrate, this is secondary alkyl halide. When this secondary alkyl halide is allowed to react with this nucleophile, that is methoxide anion, or this nucleophile methanol, we will get same product, same compound as a product. But the path through which we will get this product is different, and it is determined by nucleophile in these particular examples. In this case, methoxide anion is acting as a nucleophile which is stronger nucleophile, and in this case methanol is acting as a nucleophile which is weak nucleophile, and as a consequence the first reaction, this reaction will proceed through SN2 path because of presence of strong nucleophile, and this will proceed through SN1 path because of involvement of weak nucleophile. So dear students, make it clear, if substrate is secondary, then that substrate may undergo nucleophilic substitution through SN1 path or SN2 path, and it is determined by other factor. One of the factor which determine this is the nature of nucleophile. If nucleophile is strong and substrate is secondary, then it will undergo SN2 type of reaction, and if nucleophile is weak and substrate is secondary substrate, then it will undergo nucleophilic substitution through SN1 path, that is via formation of carbocation intermediate. Right. Now we will see the last factor. which affects nucleophilic substitution reaction, that is effect of solvent. So we can have many different types of solvent. For our convenience, for nucleophilic substitution reaction, we can categorize them as polar protic solvent and polar aprotic solvent. As I told earlier, polar protic solvent favors SN1 reaction and polar aprotic solvent favors SN2 reaction. We will have some examples of polar protic and polar aprotic solvent. These are some examples of polar protic solvent: water, methanol, ethanol, that is a range of alcohols, acetic acid. These are some polar protic solvent. There is a polarization, and this molecule also have donatable proton, and thus such solvents are called as polar protic solvents. And if you look at this polar aprotic solvent, then some examples are DMSO, that is dimethyl sulfoxide, DMF, NN-dimethyl formamide, then acetonitrile and acetone. These are some polar aprotic solvents. These solvents are polar because of presence of this multiple bond, but these molecule do not have donatable hydrogen, that is protons, and thus these are polar aprotic solvent. And this polarity is increases in this particular fashion. Water is more polar than alcohols than acetic acid in this particular example, and in case of polar aprotic, DMSO is more polar than DMF, than acetonitrile, than acetone. So if we are having polar protic solvent, then it favors SN1 type of reaction, and if we are having polar aprotic solvent, then it favors SN2 type of reactions. So dear friends, these are the different factors through which we can determine whether a particular reaction is going to proceed through SN1 path or SN2 path. I hope in these video lectures you understand about nucleophilic substitution reaction, the two major types of substitution reaction, that is SN1 and SN2, and in these 10 videos we explore the various factors which affect outcome of this nucleophilic substitution reaction and stereochemistry involved in SN1 and SN2 reactions. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Thanks a lot.